really about his work that he had come to accomplish until the disciples declared correctly his person. And so Peter does so, you're the Messiah. We've got that. And then Jesus says, okay, as the Messiah is going to die. Now, I find it fascinating that in the last year of Christ's ministry, now think about this. If you were the Messiah, and somebody came to you and said, you've got 1 year left to accomplish what you've come to do, who'd he spend the last year with almost 90% of the time? His disciples. He got them away from everybody. He took 12 men from this world. He spent 1 year of the last of the 3-year ministry, the last year, ministering to his disciples, teaching them who he is and what he would do, and they still struggle with what he did. They couldn't understand it. Jesus never says to the disciples, I'm so disgusted with you. I've given you privileges. I've given you my time. I've given you my words. You've seen my miracles, my actions. I am so stinking disgusted with you 12. You still don't understand it. You ever read that? Do you ever read where Jesus ever raised his voice to his disciples? Do you ever really read where Jesus gives a good chewing out to his disciples? Oh, there were times he corrected them. I'm not going to say that. But when we read Christ's relationship with his disciples, he liked being with them. That's my point. Well, I can relate to Peter, can't you? I can relate to Thomas, can't you? He liked being with them, and he likes being with you. He really does. He likes to hear your voice. He likes to hear you. Now, take this rightly. He even likes to hear you complain at times to him. You can present arguments to him. You can say to him, why, Lord? The psalmist does. That's inspired stuff. He likes being with you. He's eager to be with you. If we understand that more and more and accept it, we'll talk to him more. We will. We'll just share stuff with him. We won't be like, I know you're so bored with me. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. None of that kind of stuff. He's eager to be with us. Have you ever thought about how God puts prayers in your heart to pray before he does it? Why does he do that? Because he wants you to be with him when he works. Why? Because you're his bride. Because you're his child. He wants you to be with him because he's eager to be with you. That's the kind of relationship our Father in heaven has. And I think the great doubt that comes from our flesh and says, no way. I mean, there have been times I've said to the Lord, I think I said it last week, I don't know how to explain this to you. And you probably heard this enough from me. So I just leave it with you. You pray it through. I don't know if that was good praying or not, to be honest with you. I don't know if that was very good. Because he doesn't go, not again. You're going to pray this to me again? How many times are you going to pray about your child or your friend? Or how often are you going to keep bringing that up to me? See, we get bored with it. We get bored at times and say, it just sounds like I'm saying the same thing over again, over and over and over again, right? God doesn't go, man, how much longer are you going to keep wearing me out with this? He doesn't do it. We get worn out. We get tired. We can get bored. But he doesn't, because he's eager to be with us. Why does he put prayers in your heart to pray back to him before he does it? Because you're his bride. And he wants his bride to be with him when he works. Now, I'm stopping for a minute. Do you believe that? Do you really believe it? Or am I just up here chattering? It's the truth. Do you believe? If you'll believe that, you'll talk to him more. He will. And he likes it. He really does. You know, when you think about just how Christ came because the Father sent him to bring us back to him. You know, the Lord enjoyed the relationship he had with Adam and Eve in the garden. But sin marred it, and they were driven from the special presence of God. But Christ has brought us back into that special presence. The presence of God now dwells in us. You know, if you believe that the Holy Spirit is within you, how can you not draw near the Lord? It's just that we forget. We just forget at times these things. So I'm here to remind you. Let's go to number 3. It's easy for people to feel that God is not sensitive to them. You know, God can work. I'm going to give you an illustration. I saw families where God would work in their kids' lives, and they'd come to church and they would tell it. And there might be another parent that's wanting God to do that with their kids as well, but it hasn't happened. And it's easy for that parent that's waiting on God, when they hear the news, not to be jealous, but to go, oh, that's nice. That's nice. And really what they're saying is this: Lord, you heard their prayers, why won't you hear mine? Lord, you did something for their child, why won't you do that for my child? Right? We can do that. He's insensitive to me. I don't even think he listens to me. I don't even know if he really cares about me. And yet, listen, when the disciples were in the boat in Mark 4, whatever happens to the disciples and their experience with the Lord can happen to us. So here it is. The disciples, a lot of them were fishermen, so they knew what storms were like on the Sea of Galilee. And a storm came up, and the devil brought the storm up because Christ rebuked it. It came from the devil. He was trying to kill him. I can't figure it all out, but he was trying to kill him. And the disciples come to Christ, and what's he doing in the boat in Mark 4? Sleeping. He's insensitive. He doesn't care. And you know what they say to him, which is really a fascinating statement. But we could say it too. Master, don't you care that we're perishing? I mean, now think about who cared for them more than anybody on earth. Think of how much the Lord cared for them, because he's going to go to the cross and die for them. And so they say to him, you're pretty insensitive to us. Don't you care that we're going to die? And he awakens, and he doesn't say to them, how dare you say that to me? How dare you say that to me? You consider all the things I've done for you already? I'm so disgusted in you. Did he say that? He gets up, he awakens, he rebukes the wind and the waves. And he does say to them, and it is a correction or a rebuke, where's your faith? Where's your faith? You're with me. It's going to be okay. No matter what, I'm with you. It's going to be okay. I mean, it was his will to go across the Sea of Galilee. That's why if it's Christ's will to go across the Sea of Galilee and the wind comes up on him and tries to sink him, the devil was doing it. Okay, the devil can attack us. Our flesh can attack us. And we can feel, where are you, Lord? I prayed to you, but it seems as though you're so far away. Don't you care about us? Don't you care about me, Lord? I mean, I've tried to serve you. I've tried to declare you. Where are you? And again, if the disciples can feel that the Lord's insensitive to them on that boat, there can be experiences in our life where we can feel trials. Where is he? He's not listening. When I pray, I feel like they're just hitting the ceiling up there and coming right back down. I don't think he listens to anything I say. We can feel that, and we've got to fight it and say, no! His eye's on the sparrow. I know he's watching me. And so he really does care then about us, and we find that so often. You think about just how, he showed his sensitivity to you through us. Now, I want to state this. I don't understand this, but it happens. People have felt burnt in their church by the congregation because, let's say, you went through something that was really hard on you and nobody reached out to you. Well, have you ever considered that the Lord shows his sensitivity to you through his body? And I want to challenge every one of you in here, please, if you're prompted to call somebody, if you're prompted to go see somebody, please do it. Don't sit back and go, well, I've never done this. I don't know really what to do. I'm telling you, you could walk in somebody's house and sit on a couch in a living room and say nothing to that person. And your presence is speaking volumes to that person. Listen, there are people in Shelbyville that feel they've been burnt in a church, and I'm sorry for that. But if you know somebody going through a hard time, reach out to them. Do reach out. God can use you, and he'll show his sensitivity to them through the body. Let me close with number 4. If you had a stern dad or a demanding parent, you can translate that to God. I remember a good friend of mine said, everything I did was always trying to please my dad. I was just always out to please. And then when she drew near the Lord, when she experienced salvation in the Lord, guess what kind of God that she worshiped? One that could be stern and one that could be demanding, because that's all she knew in her home from her father. Well, excuse me, the Lord is not stern and demanding of us. He's committed to us, and he's accepting of us, even when we have trouble accepting ourselves. And this is a tough message for teenagers, that when they don't feel accepted by their friends, it can be strong rejection. Even if I've come alongside them and said, God accepts you, it's almost as though that's not enough. That's just not enough. But I'm telling you, there are times that people can reject us. And it's no fun being shunned. It really isn't. And people in churches have felt shunned, whether they were or not. If we know somebody that is better, call them. Draw near them. Try. How's it going to hurt? God could use it. If God prompts you, it's the Spirit of God that's prompting you. My daughter, Maddie, said, by the way, thank you for all being so nice to her when she came last week. She mentioned it. And, she said, Dad, I've really tried to talk to my friends where we live about the Lord. And I don't know if she's talking more about the girls or the guy. I don't know. But she said that they feel, because they're broken, that they need to first fix themselves before they can go to the Lord. Isn't that interesting? Because Christianity says, come just as you are. Just come as you are, Yeah, you're right. You do need to be fixed, but let the Lord do it. Don't try to clean yourself up first. And I don't know if it's just an excuse they're saying to her, but when I look in the scriptures, God never says, get fixed first, then come to me. You know, when Peter came after he messed up, the Lord said, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? You know, and different Greek words were used. So, Peter said, yes, I love you. And the Lord didn't say, well, you go fix yourself first. And you promise you'll never do that again. And then I think we'll be okay. Right? Right? He never did any of that. And so I don't understand what it means exactly to be broken, but I do understand the idea that a teenager can think this: I really can't get involved with the Lord the way I am right now. And I need to get myself better before I do so. And that's wrong. That's wrong. You come to the Lord gets committed to you. By the way, there's a lot of preaching today where we can preach, commit to the Lord. Commit yourself to the Lord. But I'm telling you, when you look at Scripture, we have a God in heaven who's committed to us. And that's called a covenant-keeping God. And He's a covenant God to His people, where He's saying this: if you forget me, I won't forget you. If you're negligent with me, I won't be negligent with you. If you want to start running from me like a Jonah, I will pursue you. Lord, why? Because I'm committed to you. I'm your covenant-keeping God. And you're married to me. And I'm your father. And you're my child. And I won't let you go. So let's go to just what's this sermon calling us to do. And all I'm doing is just saying, I'm just going to reiterate this. Renounce the idea that God's distant, that God's too busy for you, that God can be insensitive to you. Never. And that God can be stern and demanding of you. Never. He's involved with us. He's eager to be with us. He truly cares about us, and He's committed and accepting of us. Therefore, respond this week to what we've heard this morning. Take time and enjoying wherever you are. Short prayers, long prayers. A praise, a petition. And when you pray to Him, pray these things back to God. Lord, thank you for being a close God to me, and thank you that you are involved with me. And Lord, thank you for the way you're eager to be with us. I praise you for that, oh God. Again, pray it back to the Lord. And then finally, tell others about it. Tell others who your Father is in heaven. So let's close with this song and enjoy it because it's true.